Intro, Christian.
Oh, hey. Welcome back to Resurrection Auto. So, with this whole quarantine good stuff going on, we're quarantined to the shop because we were here. So, they locked us down, can't go anywhere. Sorry to our wives and Jordan's kids. So we're going to be at the shop. We're going to try and make some more videos for you guys. What we got going right now is we've got this little Bobcat, or it's a Clark actually. Well, Bobcat Clark collaboration skid steer that a customer of ours brought down. It's got, well, the wiring was all messed up on it, so we had to rewire the entire thing. The carburetor, as you can see, it was plugged solid with good stuff, and the fuel tank is actually probably full of water and other nastiness, because whenever I pulled this thing out, it had a lot of water and grossness in it. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to just go through this little carburetor here. The carb kit came in. I didn't think that it was going to come as early as it did, but as you can see, we got like little jets and all that kind of stuff. We got a new gasket. Oh, also, as you can see, this gasket is like super dry and gross and just kind of fall aparty.
I think they're supposed to do that.
Yeah, they definitely are. But it was just pouring fuel out of the bowl. So it was time for a rebuild anyway. So that's what we're gonna do. So what you wanna do first off is obviously obtain the carburetor rebuild kit. We are out of carburetor cleaner, so we're going to have to call and get some before we move forward here. But the biggest thing is, whenever you're doing this, you kind of want stuff to be clean. This is a clean trash can lid that we're working on. So
it can't be that bad, because
yeah, I mean,
I shot my RSX bumper on it, and I mean, it really turned out halfway decent. Well, it's all dusty and crap right now, but it can't be that dirty. And anything that was dirty on it is now held down with paint.
Right, so it's perfectly clean and good enough for rebuilding carburetors on. So, step one, like I said, is get your rebuild kit and some carburetor cleaner. These ones are pretty easy to take apart. You just pull out this one pin right here, and then your float comes off. As you can see, we got a new float and a new pin for the float, because they tend to wear out, or these get holes in them and then they fill up with fluid and then they don't float anymore, and you end up with a carburetor that floods out your engine, which is never a good thing. So here's your little needle, sits right down in here. That's what stops your fuel whenever, well, this is kind of an upside down view, but whenever your float is sitting in the carburetor, it's kind of like this. And then your needle's right here, it sits here, and whenever this comes up with the fuel flow, it pushes this into a little jet, well, essentially a jet, and it closes it off, so no more fuel can come in until it needs more fuel. So that's how it controls the fuel into the carburetor.
Basically like the back of your toilet.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. So, pulled out that. Next thing, I gotta get a flat blade screwdriver to take out these jets, and then I'm gonna need carb clean because we don't have any. So we'll get you in a second. All right, so we've got all of our parts laid out here. This is just a super basic rebuild that we're doing on this. It's practically just to get this thing running as quickly as possible, because we'd really like it out of the shop, because if you turn around, Jordan,
You see all the crap.
yeah, all the crap, and we got to paint this truck hopefully today. So yeah, Jordan painted this car yesterday, so.
Just the quarter.
But yeah, just
Well, both quarters, some rust repair, the front bumper. Yeah. Which, it's not the best color match, but for what it is, I don't care.
It's good enough. So, a couple of the tools that you'll need: little pick for picking out stuff, like your nose. And then I always use just a little wire. I separate it out, I just got two strands here. I've got like 4 here, and then I've got a bunch of them here for like poking into jets and needles and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start tearing this all apart. As you can see, bowl's already off of it, obviously. And then we'll just screw this guy out. So these are, I don't know if you can see, Jordan. So you see all these little holes and stuff in here? They're super easy to get plugged up. So I always take this guy here, and then I just, you know, kind of run it through all the holes. Make sure that we are clear through all of them. And then bigger ones through the ends. Make sure it's all clear through there. And then obviously we'll blow through this with the carb clean and all that stuff to make sure it's 100% open. So then we'll just set that guy there because we're going to reuse that one. Down inside this hole, I don't know if you can see or not, but there is a little bitty O-ring. Or not O-ring, but kind of a seal. It's this little guy right here. So just kind of reach down in there and attempt to pluck it out if I can, if it will let me. Come on.
It's been in there for who knows how long, so it's probably going to be pretty dry and pretty,
yeah, it's coming out.
Sealed in there.
There it goes.
There it goes.
So as you can see, the old one there and the new one here. So as you can see, the hole size is slightly different, but this does fit on the outside, and it's the same outside.
Yeah, and it's hard to say how much one it's swollen. And...
Well, right, yeah, once it's smashed down by this jet. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick this guy up. We will, actually, you know what, I'm going to leave it out for now. But yeah, just don't forget to put that back in. Otherwise, you'll have sealing issues, and your jet won't pick up any of the...
We'll put that one by that.
Okay, here.
We'll put
move them both down.
Oh, wow, yeah, the thing is really crispy.
Yeah. So it's not going to seal properly, and then it won't create the Venturi effect and pull fuel from your bowl up into the carburetor itself, which is one of the big issues that we were having with this. It wasn't sucking up any fuel, so.
Yeah, that's a rubber seal, isn't it?
It's either rubber or some sort of a Teflon or something.
This one, I don't know if you can tell, maybe if we're real quiet you can hear it. It's very, very hard.
Yeah, solid. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out the, this is the jet that the needle sits in. I don't know if you want to call it a jet, kind of is. I mean, it's essentially a jet. So this will go out. We got a new one to go in right here with our new needle so that everything seats nicely. We don't have, you know, overflowing issues or anything like that. So we'll set that there. We'll leave it out until we can clean through that passage as well. Now pretty much everything's taken apart down here other than, you know, the little Welch plugs and stuff like that, but we're not going that far into it. You can generally blow through all the jets and all that kind of stuff, or all the passages through the carburetor and get them pretty clean, at least well enough for the thing to actually run. There's one more right up here, this little jet, or needle, I guess is what you want to call this. And this one just pretty much, this controls an air passage in the carburetor for your idle circuit. So out with the old, we're going to keep this spring and reuse it on the new one here. So here's new versus old. This one's not in terrible shape. It's got a little bit of wear on it, but nothing bad. So we're going to put this down by the parts we're not using anymore. Then with this aside, the carb body is pretty much done. I just screwed this in here because I'm probably going to get rid of the anti-backfire. There's a little, oh here, let me go grab it real quick. It's on the back of this guy. I think. Maybe it's not.
So unprepared.
Super unprepared, man. Now, I've got it kicking around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. All right. So, this is what's called a little it's not a little it's a anti-backfire valve. So what this does, whenever you turn the engine on, this gets pulled back, or you turn the ignition on, this gets pulled back, and it releases the fuel flow into this jet down here. So it actually screws into where this guy's screwed in. Screws right into here. And if you can look, come on now, there we go. You can see that little metal plunger is stuck right into a jet, right in there. So whenever it's on, that gets pulled back, fuel gets released, flows. Whenever you shut it off, this shuts into that, right in there. It gets shut into that so that no fuel is flowing into there while the engine's still spinning and shutting off. So that prevents it backfiring whenever, you know, you shut the thing off, because that tends to scare old men. So you just pull this guy out.
It scares me.
Yeah, it does. Jordan jumps, it's funny.
I don't like backfiring stuff.
I think it's hilarious. But anyway, so that's most likely going to go away. And then I need a different screwdriver. So, got the right screwdriver now. Oh yeah, and just so you guys know, this is a carburetor off of a Wisconsin V465.
I feel like that should have been right at the beginning.
Yeah, it should have been, but
we'll do a new intro.
Yep. So, here's this little guy. Little bitty jet.
Show it like right here.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, see, little bitty jet. Little guy. It's got a seal on it too. I got to dig a seal out of the bag for that. Then there's one more little bitty guy right here that we're gonna pull out. But I need a smaller screwdriver yet again. Now, here we go. Oh, geez.
Oh, geez, the air compressor kicks on.
Of course. See now, that's a really, really small jet. So.
Oh, hold on, that's not focusing. Oh, come on. Good enough.
Yeah, so really tiny. It's another one we're gonna clean through.
That one will probably get a one wire off the old wire there.
So, well, that's pretty much it on the teardown. So whenever our carb clean gets here, we'll go through and we'll clean out all these passages and stuff really good, and all the jets that we're gonna reuse. So yeah, I mean, that's that. Pretty simple.
All right.
So we got our stuff from our boys down at Old Advance, and they threw in a little bit of a care package for us. So shout out to those guys, giving us some Girl Scout cookies. But we also got Bearman's B12. Yeah, dang, out of parts. But anyway, so we got some Bearman's B12. This, we're just going to dump this whole thing right into the...
Go ahead, keep talking. I just want
Okay.
to be able to show the can.
We're gonna dump that straight into the fuel tank on that thing, because we just ran the fuel out of it and it was nasty. And then we've got just some good old carb clean as well. So I'm gonna go grab some gloves. We still got gloves, I think.
We got the cheap, crappy kind.
They'll just get destroyed.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
We ran out. Oops, I wasn't looking at the camera. I was trying to see what I was doing. So normally, wear gloves.
Yeah, generally speaking, you should wear gloves doing this stuff. It's not good to get chemicals on your hands. We all know that, but...
I want to stay out of the blast radius here.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so we're gonna just go through. Ah! Shot myself. Little jet here.
Oh, it's shooting through because it's hitting the 55.
Go through this one. That one's good. It's cold. Go through Apparently that one flows pretty well, huh? Where does that one go to?
What's your blowback?
Oh yeah, fresh paint. Cool.
With this kind of stuff, it looks like he's using a lot, but our mentality on this is if you spend $5 on the can and you use the entire can to go through it, at least you know that you may have overdone it rather than not do enough and then have to tear the whole thing back apart. I mean, at that point, what's $5 in the cost of the overall rebuild? So be generous with it. Make sure that you're actually
Doing something?
exactly.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that. I'm gonna grab the blowgun and George, where is the blowgun?
We were using it to blow out the shop yesterday.
Yes, we were.
You were.
That's not helpful. Well,
Cookies. All right, I'll look over here. Yeah, see the color match? Ugh, I'm kind of bummed. Did all that rust repair? Oh look, we found it. Oh, this thing's loud.
this thing is stupid loud. Get some hard scale at the bottom we'll have to scrape out.
Ah. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Not too shabby. I'm just gonna scrape all the gunk out of the bottom of here. A lot of time there's a lot of like hard sediment buildup in the bottom of these carburetors. Just kind of go through and
Honestly, for what that was, that wasn't that bad.
yeah, really not.
We've had some where, I mean, they've got a 1/8 inch thick coating on the entire bottom.
Yeah, it's generally pretty bad. So now we're gonna go back through, put it all back together.
If he remembers how.
I don't. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pick up this little O-ring, if I freaking can. And we're gonna get that set down inside of there, like that. We're gonna take this jet, screw it down in there.
And if it cross threads, just keep going.
Yeah, just keep feeding it. It will eventually self-correct.
Yeah.
And you don't want to like over tighten these by any means. They're brass. It's brass going into an aluminum housing, so pretty
Soft
easily,
metal.
yeah, super soft metal, easy to strip out. You don't want to do it.
Again, soft.
Yeah. Just enough to where it's snug. You don't got to go crazy or nothing.
That's why they have the gaskets and the O-rings and everything else.
that's there, like that. Then we can put in our needle. Boom, needle. Make sure you put the float in the right side. And you just go ahead and slide in your pin. Just like that.
See, that's a little weird to me that it doesn't have the little C-clips on the end.
Right?
That pin.
Well, the bowl will keep it from sliding.
Yeah, I guess. It's just, I'm just used to seeing it even
Right.
with those.
Yeah. And as you can see, this float's like straight on and this one's like cocked over. It's just because of the way that the bowl is made. Then we can put our gasket back on here. New gasket like that.
Wow, so
Yeah, I know.
gaskety.
Super gaskety. Now we're to this part right here. I've got a new gasket for this little dude right here. Goes on there like that. This is going to be kind of a fun one to get in there. So, put it on the end of the screwdriver. Then get her threaded in there. Just a little snug. Call that one good. And your little bitty jet right here. That is good to go. Just like that. So this guy can get plopped back on here the right way. Like that. Then we've got the 3 screws for it right here. The little short one goes up front in the middle. Just get it started. These two, get the gasket to line up. Once again, you don't want to go too overly crazy tight, but you really don't want them to be very loose either. But these are steel screws going into a aluminum housing with fine threads, very easily stripped. So, that's pretty much it for putting all this stuff back together. Now we can come up top here. We've got our air jet, put the spring on it. Then you screw it in. And I'll have to look on this one, but most of the time what you do is you bring it all the way in until it gets snug like that. And then you back it out 2.5 turns. So there's 1, there's 2, there's a half. And that gives you a good starting point to set this for whenever it's back in the tractor, good to go. So now what we're gonna do is put this back on this turd, and well, obviously I gotta plug that off or put this back in, which we might just throw that back in. But I'm curious if this was my problem the entire time or not. But we're gonna find out. So yeah,
That's how you rebuild.
a Zenith, Zenith. They're made in the US of A.
No Corona on that.
No, sir. So that's going to be it for, today. It does run. We moved it. It needs some fine adjusting yet, but no big deal. It also has a big old hydraulic leak that we found after starting it up, so that was cool. But tomorrow we're going to shoot some more video. I got to paint this truck tomorrow, I think. At least I got to have it 100% ready for paint. I've been really procrastinating painting this dang thing because I really don't want to do it. But I gotta. So we'll shoot some video of that tomorrow. It's probably not going to be super interesting because we're not professional painters or anything. I'm not going to give you guys any tips because I don't have any tips to give because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Jordan is going to be working on the Cummins Caprice. I think that he's going to... Jordan, are you putting your injection pump on?
Yeah, tomorrow there's a laundry list. It should be injection pump, the radiator, the fan, alternator, shift linkage. I mean, realistically, there should be maybe 3-4 hours of work. It should run and drive, but...
So we'll see if we can get it to run and drive tomorrow, as on top of the 40 billion other things that we've got to do. So, yeah, we'll see you guys probably tomorrow.